The last time India took on Pakistan in a one-day international, it was 1,539 days and counting, and we're here September 2nd, 2023. In Palikele, it's going to be playing host to Pakistan, India, and the rain has stayed away. That's the happiest news we can give you in this match preview on cricket.com. My name's Avnish Hegde, and as you can see, both dressed in different shades of blue. Nikhil Popat going with the ever present and ever favorite India jersey over there. Nikhil, how are we?
All good. Thanks to the rain. The first ODI of the bilateral series should go well.
It should go well. And Somesh, on the other hand, is wearing light blue, obviously thinking India will win, right? So,
Yeah, I'm trying to live the early 2000s. So I'm trying to wear the shade of that Indian jersey. I would say I prefer that color more than the current one now. But yeah, I mean, obviously I want India to win. But let's not forget, I mean, this is basically a practice game, right?
Which is why I said first ODI of the bilateral series. So yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, points we carry forward nahi honge, and I mean, in all likelihood, India will beat Nepal. So essentially, the tournament will start from Super Force. So this is as good as a practice game.
Nikhil, you say bilateral series. You're thinking three-match bilateral, or do you think five-match bilateral is spread across two tournaments?
As of now, I know there should be three in total till October 14th, at least on paper. Uske aage to you could have a 5 match series. So who knows?
You never know. In fact, I'll tell you what, lots of you guys in the comments already wishing us, and I'm nervous, guys. I'm a huge Indian fan, like Nick's. I'm not sure about Som because Som's always thinking for the greater good. Let's put it out there. We're not slandering him like Akshay. And Nani Kofor saying Jawan Shubman versus Patan Babar. And Our Earth is Best is also going on to say India haven't lost in Palakere since the last 10 years. I'll tell you what, lots to talk about, lots to, of course, bring you in this preview with stats and all of that in your comments. But first and foremost, like this video and subscribe to cricket.com if you guys are new. The toss is going to happen in exactly 2 minutes. So I advise you guys to have us in one stream and have, of course, the toss as well. We'll talk about it way better than all those ex-cricketers out there. And we also will get Gurkirat in the show. We promised a three-man panel, but we'll give you four, given the fact of this contest. And it's the mother, father, grandmother, grandfather of all contests, like Ravi Shastri said. And no Rakshak Venkatesh, we're not doing a watch-along because, honest to God, if there is an insane passage of the play, especially in the second innings, we will do an emergency watch-along. How about that? Just because you asked. So let's, of course, keep the questions coming in and we'll ask Nix and Som what their thoughts are. But pre-toss, guys, really quickly before the coin is flipped, Nix, because there's rain around, essentially, do you think it should be chasing first?
Yeah, I think see,
Pehle,
that's the
pehle ye bata ki how can anyone chase first?
Yeah.
Grammatically.
I know what you mean, but like chasing is definitely the seed. Oh, he's popped in. I was going to keep him after the toss, but he's snuck in like a.
I was there. Vikas is calling me. Where are you? I'm in the background.
No, it's fair. Good to see you as well. I'll just come to you and your thoughts right now. But what should the captains do? Nix and then Som.
Yeah, I think it's a fair call to chase if you want to, given the weather around. But it will not be a bad toss to lose as well because I don't think the conditions changing much. Definitely, the ball should do a bit more under lights. So in that case, you might want to bat first and then use those conditions later. So at the end of the fit, not in your control. So whatever you do you do well first.
Do you think that'll be India's thinking as well, Som?
Yeah, I mean, I think for India's sake, at least for the social media sake, I would want India to lose the toss because inevitably people might end up and blaming the decision of the toss to how the things pan out. Because in my opinion, toss is irrelevant in Sri Lanka as we've seen it. Teams often opt to bat first, but the distribution of teams winning while batting first or while chasing is somewhat similar. So I would really want India to not win the toss at all.
Okay, Gurkirat, you can come in here.
India
as well.
won though. Sorry.
Oh, India won the toss?
Yeah.
Oh, and they've elected to bat. See, yeah.
Oh, amazing. So music to our ears, and it's going to be that inevitable battle that we all want to see on this Saturday afternoon, Gurkirat. India's top order against Shaheen and Co. How's it gonna go, man, in the next half an hour or so? What's your call? So we can rewind this and then, of course, hold you hostage in the mid-inning show as well.
Yeah, one would hope that the first 2 overs rather of Shaheen are played out, and then the batters can start to go for it. I think this is an important series for Shubman Gill too, because the ball's going to swing here, and someone like Naseem Shah with the ball bringing in with the angle could be someone who might just trouble Shubman Gill more than Shaheen. I mean, I feel for Rohit the bigger threat is Shaheen, but for someone like Shubman, Naseem could be the bigger threat. And not surprised with the Pakistan 11. This is something that we had discussed in the preview, where I said that there's a good chance they might bring in Nawaz, and they announced it yesterday. Very interested to see where Ishan Kishan bats, honestly, today. Avnish, you are on mute.
Why
The rare moment.
these I don't know why these guys tamper with my mute when literally I'm handling the show. Do not mute me. You cannot mute me because I'm the voice of cricket.com. No, I'm just joking. But look, guys, you spoke about some tactics there, and I want to throw Arsenic Gunner's question to you, Som and Nix. Does tactics actually go out of this fixture? You play the occasion and you don't play essentially.
No, that is exactly what one should not be doing, right? That is, I mean, these are like 101 of sports. You cannot play the person, you cannot play the situation. I mean, you play the situation, but not situation as a game in the whole. You have to go with your strengths and sort of back it, and you have to have your tactics ready. I mean, the point is the usual discourse should not take precedence. You're playing Pakistan. Oh wow. Let's forget about what we have planned. Let's just be overawed by the situation. So that should not work.
So I'll give you some news from the middle. In fact, all the viewers as well. I'm guessing you guys are watching it, but just for the benefit of the viewers of the stream, Kuldeep and Jadeja start. Iyer is back. So is Bumrah, and that was expected. And they've got 3-seamer. And as you can see, Shami is not there. So it just makes you think how India are going to go about it. These are the exact words that Rohit Sharma uttered the toss, by the way. He said, we're going to bat first. There is a bit of weather around, but can't think much about it. Got to play good cricket. You need to embrace the challenge, embrace the situation. And they had some good time off for the West Indies series. Now, he says, got to go play some good cricket. And Somesh, before we got into our respective studios here in the cricket.com headquarters, you were like, India should just kind of, just go for it. What do you mean by that? And what would you like to see?
Because it's a practice match.
So do you think, what if there's 78 for no loss first 10 overs?
It's a good thing. Play it like that. I mean, play fearless cricket, right? I mean, see, I mean, as much as I am an advocate of fearless cricket, I really like what Rohit Sharma said in the press conference, that he has been not putting a price on his wicket lately, but now things will have to change because it's ODI, which is a good thing to hear. Because he was all Sunil Narayan mode in T20s, even in tests. Although he got 100 recently in West Indies, which is a very good sign. But even in the WTC final, when he was set, he was looking to hit far too many boundaries. So I just hope he tempers that a little bit, because he is a very scary prospect if he figures out a way to perform in ODIs. I mean, he's as good a batter as any ODI cricketer has ever seen.
Speaking of batters, a great way to lead into the first segue of this preview. Virat or Babar? The chat's been going around. I know Babar just hit his 19th ODI ton. I think if he gets one more today, he'll equal Syed Anwar in terms of all the most hundreds scored by a Pakistan batter in ODIs. Gurkirat, where do you stand in this debate? Because look, I know you're a big Kohli fan, but you like to slack him off on Twitter and to get banter out of people. But where do you stand, bro? And Virat Kohli has always been a man possessed every time he takes on Pakistan. Can he really deliver today again? And I will show you some numbers as well as we talk by it.
I said it early on. I don't think there's a debate right now on who's the best ODI batter of this generation. You could probably argue on sheer numbers that he might just be the best ODI batter that we have ever seen. But that is still debatable because you'll have to account for conditions, how the game has changed, etc., etc. But when it comes to this generation, he's second to none. And even if he doesn't have a good game today, I don't think it really changes his legacy as a whole of an ODI batter. It remains the same, right? Babar will himself say that he is he will try to follow the footsteps of someone like Virat Kohli, but he's still not there. The sample space has to come into consideration. Babar has played around what 102. He's had 102 innings or something. Kohli, I feel, has played what around 250 ODIs or something. So there's a huge gap in terms of the number of matches both have played. Probably when Babar has played, you know, some portion of the matches, say 80% of the matches of Virat Kohli over his career, maybe then we can bring in this comparison. Right now, Babar's very consistent, but Kohli's been more consistent over the course of his career, and he has far more legacy, far more big knocks to his name than what Babar has. So right now, this is I don't think Virat Kohli with anyone in today's generation in ODI cricket is a debate.
Yeah, it isn't. It shouldn't be because look, I'm a huge Virat Kohli fan, and I know I'll probably praise him to the cows come home for tests and T20s, but ODS for sure, Nicks. Now, how do Pakistan kind of get him out? Because I know Nawaz has got him out and Shaheen's got him out, but Haris Rauf, neither Naseem Shah has got him out. In fact, we'll put that depiction out right now in terms of Virat versus Pakistani bowlers across all formats. And does this give them any conviction going into this fixture, Nikhil?
See, I think for every great batter, you'll have a lot of options or plans planned. But that's what the challenge is, right? When you're bowling to the best the format has ever seen, you will need a lot of things go your way. You see those numbers there. Hardly anyone has even kept him quiet. To be honest, like in this format, if you see the strike rates are not that bad. In fact, it's better against Haris Rauf. Same with Naseem Shah. So nobody is tied him down, and that is what will be the challenge for Pakistan. That if conditions are such that they're getting movement on, how to go about all of this, that how do we keep him quiet, and how do we ensure that he's the one who has to take the riskier shot earlier. So that's where they have to make him change his tempo, which I think Kohli knows it very well how to go about his ODI game.
The quicker, I mean, sorry, the more we're approaching this game, I feel I'm getting nervous because that one over, that opening over, we'll just be waiting and watching. And Gurkirat, I just want to ask you about Shaheen Shah, man. Talk to me, because look at this. Deadly in the first two, in his first 5 overs since 2022. It's ridiculous. I mean, Indian fans look away right now. Yeah, Paji. He's on
I
mute.
think he's on mute. Even without watching, we can say he's on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even unmute the mic. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the nervous jitters. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, the first 2 overs of Shaheen are key. You know, I've been reading a few things, a couple of tweets which says that, you know, if Shaheen is in such dangerous form early on, maybe you could send in a sacrificial opener if you want to. Now, I'm not against that idea as a whole because I feel in essence it's not very different from sending a night watchman. But I think right now India should not be looking at any of these things because you want to prepare, like Sumesh said, this should be looked at as a practice match. You want to prepare for the main game on the 14th of October in Ahmedabad, because if you are batting second in that game, you have a huge total to chase. You want your openers to be confident of, you know, facing that Shaheen threat. Right now, I think him taking wickets early on in his first 2 overs or even the first over is as inevitable as something can get in the game of cricket, which is so uncertain in its own. But yeah, uh, it's just, you know, the in swinging Yorkers coming. The viewers know it. The bowler knows it. The
It's
non-striker knows
mad.
it.
It's mad. I
The
can
knows
think
it.
about it right now.
Everyone
And
knows it.
so, I mean, there's some breaking news in terms of the team. So can you just talk me through this and
Yeah,
where
I was
is it
going to
going to
come to
be?
this only, that in India's lineup, Ishan Kishans is slotted at number 3.
Yeah. So take over.
Yeah, I mean, just like we discussed in the preview, not a big fan because it was clearly mentioned in the press conference that Sanju Samson is the backup for KL Rahul. So ideally, he should have been playing, because right now what you're looking at is probably displacing the greatest number 3 batter in ODIs ever from his preferred position. If we go by the card, it can very well be the case that Ishan Kishan opens with Rohit, which again is very unfair on Gill. Even if he bats at 3 or 4, it's not his natural position. Maybe it's his natural position, but that's not he's been used to in white ball cricket for whatever time he's played. So, I mean, this is just then everything that you say in press conferences don't make sense. The point that Ajit Agarkar made, the chief selector, or the point that head coach made that we are not experimenting for the sake of experimenting. You are you are doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, stop fooling the fans. Because you had the entire West Indies series to play Ishan Kishan in the middle order. Why didn't you do it? And I mean, go back. I mean, there was a point when Surya Kumar Yadav opened for India in T20s. That was experimentation for the sake of experimentation. I mean,
so what should they do?
When will you stop bullshitting the fans?
So what should they do today? Because they have 11 games, like Rohit said, including 2 warm-up games to that first game in the World Cup. What should they do? Should they set precedent from today?
I mean, they already can't do it. If the precedent was to be set, they should have included Samson because that was what communicated. But now with Kishan in the 11, I think they should open with him because I don't know. Even when you've pushed Gill at the test level in the middle order, maybe you feel he is more comfortable that way. And that is something that he has done at least in the first class scheme of things. With Kishan, he's more of an aggressor. Gill, he doesn't start very attackingly. And with Rohit, you wouldn't see. The point is when India played T20 cricket, Rohit has almost assumed himself to be that sacrificial goat. Goat, not goat of greatest of all time sort of goat, but the goat who would want to throw his wicket away for a quick start. But in ODIs, you wouldn't want Rohit to be that guy. So it might be better. India might be better served with Kishan opening so that he can just attack and sort of use the power play better. And then Gill can play somewhere in the middle order. I would want Kohli to bat at 3. They should actually, if they want to play, sort of play around with Gill, maybe have him at 4 or 5, whatever. But Kohli should not be moved from 3, in my opinion.
Gurkirat, let me ask you this about Ishan Kishan, right? Generally, how big of it is a test for him today, given the fact that he's been given this leap of faith from the team management? And do you think he can vindicate the team management in whichever position they slot him in? He's on mute again.
Yeah. See, if you're now asking him to bat in the middle order on these pitches, and the pitches in Sri Lanka haven't been as easy, then you also
who's him? Who is him here?
The question was about Ishan Kishan. So
okay.
Yeah. So you also have to have some patience. I mean, if you want any player to vindicate their the trust that has been shown in one game, that's not going to happen. I feel like from the beginning, I feel the reason that they are probably apprehensive towards having Kishan at 4 or 5 is because they feel his strike rotation is not up there, because they tried him in that role versus New Zealand at home, and probably they weren't very happy with it. Now, if they weren't very happy with it, there was all the more reason to have then Sanju Samson bat in the position in which KL Rahul bats, because he's shown that he can rotate strike in ODI cricket. In T20s, yes, his numbers have not been good enough, but in ODI cricket, he's done that. So I feel right now they've decided, okay, we want to keep Ishan Kishan in because he scored runs as an opener. We can't drop him, but they have huge doubts over his ability to bat in the middle order. So now they are trying to look at the next best move. Now, if I was there, and if I had decided that I want to play Ishan Kishan, probably for the left-handed factor, probably for the aggressiveness or the X factor, etc., whatever it is, and I decide that he has to bat as an opener, then I'll actually move Shubman Gill at 4 rather than moving Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli at 4. The reason I've already explained is because I feel amongst the 3, he's a better player of spin bowling. He can also rotate strike, and now we have seen over the last 3 years or the post-pandemic period that Virat's not the same batter against spin that he was pre-pandemic. If this was 2019, I would have been okay. Well and good. You bat Virat at 4 because he still has that game. But right now, if you're going to push Virat to number 4, I'm not very comfortable with it. He might still score runs if he gets a right entry point and he's able to play out those 20-30 balls and is set going into the last 15, because he's shown that he can accelerate as well as anyone in the last 10-15. He might just still score runs, but I still don't feel it's an ideal position. You think about playing on slower pitches against teams which have good spinners who can turn the ball away. I'm not very comfortable with that idea. I'd rather have Shubman at 4 than have Kohli at 4.
Okay. By the way, all the guys in the comments, keep your bowling questions sorted, because we'll of course be here for the mid innings and we'll talk about that. It makes more sense because India will be probably defending a total by then, and we'll talk about Pakistan's batters. We'll show you some fantastic graphics that we have, not just about Babar but Fakhar and the reg the rest of the team. I just want to ask Nix, because just finishing up this chat with Kishan, and we're going to see him very shortly. I don't know, as an opener or in the middle order. What is the best usage that they can have for Ishan Kishan today? Is it as an opener or is it in the middle order?
Number 5. Give him the
Number
games
5?
till the time
Okay.
KL is out. The moment KL comes in, Kishan goes out. Everything is as good as it gets. Best top order possible. Best people in the middle order. Everybody is chill. No tension.
Yeah, it should be as simple as that, right?
Just to add on to what Nikhil said here. Okay, let's just assume that India stick with opening with Kishan or have him at 3, and then now they realize through the course of Asia Cup that okay, Virat Kohli at 4 is not working out, right? Virat Kohli at 4 is not working out, or Shreyas Iyer at 5 is not working out, whatever. Now what happens is, post the Asia Cup, you have wasted 4 or 5 games, whatever you had before the World Cup, in again trying to figure out a combination which never had great odds of succeeding. I'm not saying that if you try Ishan Kishan at 5, it would be a success straight away, but at least you will not be unsettling the remaining batters in the 11.
Correct.
Right? So there are chances that might not succeed as well, but you will not be unsettling something that has already worked for you over a period of time. So that is my problem, that in order to give the comfort of the best position to a batter who's not even in your starting 11, you are essentially trying to unsettle the remaining batters who will definitely play for you. And I don't know, funny things could happen. Someone could lose form, etc., and then all these things will then just come back to bite the management, and then they'll say in press conference, "Oh, we didn't want to experiment for the sake of experimenting." But this is exactly what is happening right now, and too close to the World Cup is not something which is leaving me very comfortable with this.
Exactly. So I have exactly 2 pointers here. So one, if this was to be tried, Ishan Kishan in the middle order, you had the entire West Indies series to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just it was a far more irrelevant series for you to try something out instead of doing it so close to the World Cup. Second is, if you're playing Ishan Kishan at number 5, that means you're sort of locking Shubman Gill as an opener, which as things stands, I'm not sure. I mean, there is still obviously, in terms of pedigree, what we've seen, Kishan is, I think, a better player than Ishan Kishan. But at this point of time, if you'd ask me from an overall balance perspective, if Gill should be a lock, I would not agree. Because if you talk about those, again, 6 right-handers and whatnot, KL Rahul is a lock. We have been receiving a lot of comments, and I would really want Nikhil's thoughts on it, because Gurkirat and I have already spoken about KL Rahul a lot. So we'll go back to those comments. But when KL Rahul is fit, he comes back to 5. There is no debate about it. And if you have Gill as an opener, then the point is you would have 6 right-handers. So right now, when the point comes to include Samson, you can't make that argument that it's 6 righties, because that is what your first 11 is.
Yeah, but I think just to clarify on that one point, see, I don't think they planned to play Kishan at 5 as such because they expected KL Rahul to be fit. The problem has come through because KL is not fit to start in this game. If KL Rahul is...
But even before the tournament...
So just hear me out. So before, if KL Rahul was fit, Ishan Kishan stays as a backup opener. And then when he's got runs in the West Indies, it seems perfect that, okay, he's coming... If at all something happens to Gill or you want to drop, you have a guy in the top order who's made runs and is coming into the series on the back of good run. The problem has come through only because of the second injury that KL Rahul has had in terms of the fresh niggle after the recovery period. So if that doesn't happen, then there is no debate here. There's no debate about Samson also.
Yeah, but I mean, this injury was expected, right? That is the only reason
why. The second, no, not the second.
Because why would then see? The point is, why would then the chief selector in a press conference
while selecting the Asia Cup, while selecting the Asia Cup squad, they knew that KL will not be available for the first.
So it is fine now. See, that is what I'm coming to. If you know that there could be a possibility, then if you want to, if there is any room to try, it is better to give Kishan the game time now. Then suddenly push him at 4.
My point is, what if KL Rahul sort of his injury? See, we've already faced a situation with Bumrah last year. What if he's not recovered in time for the World Cup? And what if he's not recovered? So,
So Kishan will play where he
So the
plays
po-
today. So let's wait first. Let's
so the
wait
point,
to see
but
where
all
Kishan
of this, could have been done in the West Indies series. Is my point. Then you
No,
had
no,
three,
no,
literally.
it cannot be done. You are then assuming about, then you're not doubt, then you're not trusting also the reports from the medical team that he will be fit enough. Because if KL was fit, then there is no problem. Now the problem is come because he's not fit. And if he's not fit, if he takes more time, you can now give Kishan enough number of times in the role that you wanted KL to play. So in that case, you are solving for more things. The one thing that they should have definitely avoided is taking Tilak Verma instead of Sanju Samson, because then it would have been easier to swap and not have any problems. But then there is nothing else to talk about if they do that.
Yeah. Okay, I want to come back to this because we have been receiving a lot of comments on this as well, that Samson is in the reserve, so cannot be included in the squad. I mean, do you guys have a similar understanding? Because if, in my opinion, that is what is a reserve for. If you have a player who is injured ahead of the game, you can always speak to the match referee and get the reserve in the squad, and that is essentially what the reserve is for. So this argument that Sanju Samson is not in the squad, so cannot be in the 11, is absolutely invalid argument, because India has selected a 17-man squad. Afghanistan, I think Afghanistan or Bangladesh, one of those teams, have selected an 18-man squad. So there is no limit anyway.
I think
Yeah, I think
the
everybody
rule-
is 17.
I
No,
think
there
I
is
think,
one team. There's one team 18. At least
I
as
think
per
the
a
rule
few
is
websites I checked.
I think the rule is that if you bring in the reserve player, then when the original player is fit, that player can't come back. I think that is the rule, because if a reserve player replaces the injured player, then he replaces the player for the entirety of the tournament. I have never heard that a reserve player has come in only for a few games and then gone back into reserves. I've never heard that. So I think that might be the rule.
Okay.
But yeah, anything like Nikhil said, I mean, we've discussed enough about batting. I just wanted to ask this question to Somesh, that Shami is not there in the 11. Nikhil and I anyway had Shardul. I want to know your thoughts, because I firmly think that come what may, Shardul Thakur will be a part of the 11 because of his improvement as a bowler, and we have seen how much this Indian team values batting depth. And given the fact that everyone else, like Hardik did an article, and I was talking about it in my show day before, yeah, and he spoke about that outside of Kuldeep, no other batter has an average of over 10. Shami has a batting average of 8.5. So I don't think Shardul's going anywhere. Whatever happens, the only player that can probably replace Shardul is, I feel, Akshar Patel,
Akshar
on
Patel,
maybe
yeah.
pitches like Chennai or Lucknow, if the ball is really turning, or you expect a pitch which is slow and abrasive.
So is
Yeah,
he a
see-
number 8? Shardul then.
Who?
Perfect number 8.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course, of course. Because Hardik bats at 6, Jadeja bats 7.
No, I think I'm just happy that the right Mohammed is playing first and foremost, because I was a little skeptical that maybe they'll screw this up, but they haven't, which is very good. Second thing is, I mean, against a team like Pakistan, who has a very strong bowling, it makes all the more sense to have a deep batting lineup. Maybe when India are playing a team like England, maybe I would want them to be a little more attacking, because England would be the other way around. They'll just go all out attack, and you might need your better bowlers. So let's see. But I think as of now, I think this is a good balance in terms of your bowling options and the batting depth.
Okay. Guys, we spoke about India's 11. Let's just feature Pakistan 11 and be a neutral channel here. Don't want to just end up in someone's books. Pakistan playing 11. Pretty much the same team who played Nepal, right? They've not made any changes from that.
No, I think
No
it's not needed as well, right? This is a settled combination in terms of the roles that they've assigned. The top 4 is solid. The bottom 4 are as good
And they
as you
have
get.
and they have what, 6 bowling options?
7, right? You have 7
They
bowling
have 7
options.
if you include Aga Salman as an option too.
And
And
he
what
bowls
is he
off
bowling?
spin decently.
Off spin, yeah.
He was better off spinner in the Sri Lanka test as well. So again,
Yeah. So
see, that's what teams want: batting depth and bowling depth.
So as I see it, Aga Salman and Iftikhar are like for like. Both.
In terms of bowling, probably I feel Aga Salman is a better option with the ball, but Iftikhar Ahmed is a far better option versus hitting pace.
Yeah,
Aga
and but
Salman
if
is the guy.
Aga Salman is more of a spin where he has those sweeps
Yes,
and reverse sweeps.
yes,
So
yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that if Aga Salman doesn't do as well, and if Iftikhar continues his good form, Pakistan
yeah,
might just bring in Saud Shakil at some point of
South
time.
Shakil. Yeah.
Guys, I just want to ask you about one man who will definitely want to be eking out some sort of revenge. Haris Rauf, and a producer just irking me to take this particular graphic. And maybe Sob and Gurkirat can just tell me how much he's a threat today. And as you can see, his record against Indian batters across all formats. We speak about Shaheen, we speak about Shadab, but Haris Rauf, Som in ODIs, do you think he can pack a punch today?
Of course he can, but I think Shaheen and Naseem are a bigger threat. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so where do you
Actually,
think
I feel it.
Rauf will
Actually,
operate more? Middle overs? Sorry, go on.
yeah. Actually, I
Yeah,
feel Rauf will be more of a challenge to a middle order that is not always comfortable facing short balls. You'll have Shreyas Iyer there.
yes,
You'll have
I
Ishan Kishan. You'll have Hardik Pandya.
Hardik
Everybody
also.
has had and has. So you have three guys who have some trouble with the ball coming
Hmm.
into the body and at that length. So that's where I feel it's going to be very exciting to watch if the game goes till that part of 35 to 50 overs.
I mean, I'm just thinking about Gurkhirat's Deep Point show yesterday where he spoke about Hardik and Jadeja's batting. If there are a couple of early wickets, I don't want to say it, but can we kind of pin our hopes on them? Jadeja and Hardik is a combination to bail us out.
If the ball is actually moving around and moving around quite significantly, promoting Jadeja is not the worst option here, because he's shown in red ball that he's someone who's very good on the fourth stump. He's very circumspect, and you would rarely see Jadeja edging behind, even in test cricket. So if the ball's really swinging around a lot and you want someone to arrest your collapse, Jadeja could be that option. And that.
I just want to add because they were showing some footage from Alur, and obviously Indian batters were batting in pairs, and Kohli and Jadeja were batting for like 2 hours together. Does that give us an indication of what you're saying, Gurkirat, that he could
No,
be?
no,
No,
no, no. That's
no,
stretching
no.
it too much. That's
No,
Nah,
stretching
no.
it too much.
Okay,
nah,
fine.
nah.
That's stretching it
And
too much.
actually, just to close that point, I don't think they should promote anybody. This is not
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah,
time or the series to promote anyone. This is
yeah.
an ODI bilateral ODI series. Go by your best order. Give them time. This is the best time to prepare. Rohit said in the
Yeah,
nets now, you don't have Shaheen, Rauf, and Naseem. Now you have them. Face them as much as you want. Play 50
yeah,
overs. Win match.
yeah. I am okay with that as well. I was just
Yeah,
suggesting an alternate if you really
yeah,
want to think about it. But yeah,
yeah,
I said this in the beginning too, that this is probably the best time to prepare and
yeah.
see how it goes. But yes, coming to Haris Rauf, I feel the one factor that sort of differentiates him from the other two bowlers in Naseem and Shaheen is that one, he's really skiddy. He can sometimes generate uncomfortable bounce from lengths that you don't expect, and then when he's rhythm or there is help, he can move the ball both ways. So there, so Shaheen is predominantly someone who rarely swings the ball, and that the ball coming in is the real threat. With Naseem, it's the accuracy, but with Haris Rauf, it's both the bounce and the movement, and that movement
भाई
is
कुछ
also
नहीं होगा भाई कुछ नहीं होगा आज इंडिया होगा डोमिनेशन लिख के दे दूंगा
so
भाई आज
like
trust me.
if Avnish played international cricket, he would be someone like Haris Rauf. Gets extra bounce, ball moves around, batter has no clue. Like
I
if I
mean,
was the batter, I would definitely have no clue.
India needs an Avnish, right? I mean, a Haris Rauf kind of a bowler who can bat as well, packs a punch.
I mean, to
Is
be
good.
fair,
Is good with people. Good in the dressing room.
I think I'm more like India's Darren Sammy that they never had. But look, more on me later. In fact, Vidya MR, I don't know if you're new to the stream. If you are, it's my name's Avanish, but not Avanish. But that's good. Good comment. And I'm wearing blue boxers, the luckiest boxers I found in my house. So that would definitely help India win for sure. Guys, a quick couple of predictions because Chuchant is saying, love your predictions always, guys. I need a score from Paji, Nix, and Somesh. How much are India going to get? Because it's going to be a fascinating first innings, and we'll break it down in the middle. But let's have the predictions. Somesh, you can start first, and then Nix, and then Gurkirat, and then me.
Oh, okay. I'll go with 311.
311. And how much is Virat going to make out of those 311?
71.
71. Love it. Okay, Nix, what about you?
Yeah, I'd love a 330 odd, but I think rain will come in, so may not get a full game. Hopefully, I'm proven wrong.
Okay, 330, 311. Are you going 300 plus as well?
Yeah, I'm going somewhere between 280 to 290, 285.
Okay. I think I'm going to go 350, boys. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, and Virat Kohli. They're going to be teaching them a lesson and be like men versus boys.
Look, sabar karo.
Let's be cocky till we can be cocky before Shaheen strikes. I mean, there's already people cheering in office. So apologies. We're not going to be doing a watch along. I know all you guys would love to hear our thoughts throughout the game. You can catch the live blog. That's something that we should really start selling on cricket.com, because we put out a lot of our stat nuggets. We show you the exact things that you guys want to see in terms of written content. I think Anirudh Suresh, our boy, is on live blog today. So it's available on the website. It's available in the app. And of course, please like this video if you think India are going to slam Pakistan tonight, or if you think Pakistan are going to get the points, like it nonetheless. Guys, it's been absolute fun to, of course, pick your minds. We'll, of course, see each other in the mid innings, and we'll talk about all the other plaguing issues like Shardul, Shami, India's bowling, so on and so forth, and Pakistan's batters as well. Final thoughts, gentlemen. What are we expecting? I know your predictions out of the way, but Som, nervous more or excited more?
After a while, I mean, looking forward to watch a cricket game. I mean, last was probably sometime in the Ashes.
Okay, fair thoughts. Nix, you?
Yeah, relax. Bilateral series है भाई, क्यों टेंशन लेना है? Enjoy करो.
And what about our beloved Gurkirat? Because Nani is going on to say, come on, man, show some jingoism like the media channels. Come on, Gurkirat, show some.
झंडा निकाल.
ये तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो सकता. But yeah, see, I'd love a good innings by Shubman Gill, because of late there's been a lot of chatter about him being Ahmedabad or nothing. So a good innings from him would also, I feel, make him confident and sort of calm him down, because he's still very early into his career, and I'm sure somewhere these tags like Ahmedabad or nothing will be playing on his mind. So a good score for him. I mean, I feel in India and Pakistan, if you do well against Pakistan or if you do well versus India, then you become a lot more acceptable as a cricketer for fans in both the countries. So for someone
no, you want Gill to do well because of the
I want Gill to do well, but I'm explaining why. Why it also
SEO. So people type Shubman Gill, and then invariably there'll be Gurkirat Singh Gill also found.
So I should be sad that Mayank Agarwal is dropped then.
By the way,
but in your case, they could spell it wrong. So
yeah.
Speaking of dropped, I don't know if Chachant is taking the piss, but he's saying fucker drop. I mean, I don't know. I want to go watch the game, guys. But thank you all for tuning in. Have a great time watching this game. And we'll be back in the mid-innings right when the 50th over gets completed. So whenever that is, we can't tell you right now. But I'm guessing around 6:45, 7. You guys will be there. By looking at Nix, I really want to end this stream. And of course, catch Som and watch the game with him. See you guys soon, and check out cricket.com for everything else. Our social media boys will also be up to it, because it's a mother of all battles. And like you already know, like this video and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. It's goodbye from all of us. Where is the end sting? Get it to me. Yes, bye.